Hello, my friends. It's Coach Manny Rodriguez coming back at you with some more social media stuff. And when I say stuff, I mean some Facebook stuff, some interesting stuff. I'm Coach Manny Rodriguez. If you are new to my channel, my focus is to keep you updated around social media news and things that happen that you should stay on top of, especially if you're using it for your business. And so Facebook experienced this big outage, but this was very shortly after the Facebook whistleblower had came up and shared some stuff with Congress, right? And so we're gonna dive into that. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Welcome back, my friends. This channel is brought to you by Phased Logics, also known as GetMeTheGeek.com. They are a local IT company that is helping in so many ways. So many ways. They have literally helped me get my streams 10 times better than it ever has been. And so I wanted to share with you this very special offer that they have. And it's considered a free dark web scan. So they're going to do a scan of your business email address and see if it's compromised. When I say business, I don't mean a Gmail, Yahoo, whatever that's not a business.com. I'm talking about something like my email, manny@coachmannyrodriguez.com. See, I have that domain, www.coachmannyrodriguez.com, or catmanmarketingllc.com. My email, manny@catmanmarketingllc.com. They do a dark web scan where they will literally tell you if there's any websites out there that have been compromised, that have been hacked. It'll tell you if your email address is on there. They did that for me and many more people that I know they did that. So go to bit.ly if you're familiar with bit.ly.com/free dark web scan. Simple as that. And I'll make sure that it actually is already in the description. So you can go and check it out there. Click on it. It's ready to go. But I'll make sure that I have that on this screen as well. And so let's go ahead and get into it, my friends. We are talking about this whole Facebook whistleblower, right? Who shares some damning information about kind of behind the scenes of Facebook, right? And then all of a sudden there's a 6-hour Facebook outage. Do you think that's coincident? Do you think there's a coincidence there? Do you think that Facebook did something to cover it up? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. I would love to hear your take on it. But here is what happened. Okay, here's what happened. About 11:45 in the morning, Eastern time, that's 10:45 my time, Central, yesterday, okay? Myself, here I am, I'm trying to go live, right? I'm trying to check stuff out, I'm trying to go live, and I'm like, why isn't Facebook? Then I go to Facebook, boom, I couldn't go live to Facebook. I was able to go live to YouTube, no problem, but I could not go to Facebook. So then I kept going, and I'm checking my phone, and I noticed, I'm like, okay, I could get on, close the app, I could get back on, but I couldn't refresh because the mobile app was a little different. It was just showing me everything I seen before that, kind of frozen, not going anywhere. And so a lot of people started reporting issues right around this time. Instagram was down, WhatsApp, Messenger, Facebook itself, all of them were down, okay, for close to 6 hours. That's quite some time. Even Facebook employees were having issues. They couldn't access their internal tools. Even physical areas within the company's offices, they couldn't scan to get in. So there was something weird that went on. There is no doubt about that. Now, I don't know that we'll know the true. Like, I mean, a company like Facebook, 6 hours of outage? Something tells me they weren't prepared for something. Like maybe that news that came out by the whistleblower, right? And so I want to discuss that a little bit. And what does that mean to you, the business owner, or even the personal user? But as a business owner, what does that mean to you? Well, number one, you weren't able to use Facebook. You weren't able to go live. This is why I always say, my friends, you want to have an email list going. I was getting emails on that particular issue, right? They couldn't do certain things getting ready for an event, and they would email. I received emails just like that. So that's why it's important to build that email list, because guess what? You don't own Facebook. You can't do it. I mean, Facebook owns you. Honestly, they have way too much control. Because if you think about the 6 hours where people were not using it, what was going on? Literally, what was going on? They were struggling. They were struggling. And so here you had it, where this big outage, people couldn't work, or go and do stuff that is irrelevant, use Facebook. A lot of people just use Facebook to be entertained, connect with others. They're not going there to buy your stuff, but you want to know how to strategically get that audience growing and engaged. And so Facebook says that they were offline for several hours, remind you, close to 6, due to a faulty configuration change to its routers. Okay? So the Facebook vice president of infrastructure said, this is their quote, configuration changes on the backbone routers that coordinate network traffic between our data centers caused issues that interrupted this communication. This disruption to network traffic, to be able to go into other countries and all that good stuff, has had a cascading effect on the way our data centers communicate, bringing our services to a halt. Okay? But that doesn't really say much, right? Like, okay, so you couldn't fix this. Now, I'm no global giant. I mean, if you think about what has occurred, I'm no global giant. Okay? So Mark Zuckerberg, I'm sure he has a little more answers than, this is what he said. This was Mark Zuckerberg's response. This was Mark Zuckerberg's response here. So he shared, let me show you guys. Let's see where you're at. There you go. Yeah, okay. So he shared, his response was, forget all the comments. I was looking at some of the comments, see what they're saying. It's been a busy day. Nope, that's not it. Right here. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger are coming back online now. This was 20 hours ago from this live. Sorry for the disruption today. I know how much you rely on our services to stay connected with the people you care about. True. People, when this stuff happens, this is literally a regular part of people's daily routine. When I was trying to go live, I was a little disappointed in Facebook. I'm like, and this was for my other channel. I went live on my other YouTube channel and I wanted to go live on Facebook because there's some great things around live, right? I didn't want to go live on one platform and not the other. Live is so critical in today's day and age. So I didn't want to have to worry about having to upload that video. I wanted to go live. So it definitely, affected my business a little bit, not monetarily in this case, but it's a brand new channel and I'm looking to grow it. So I'm also looking to be consistent with my efforts, right? And so here we have it. It was down. I could not go on both platforms. So I just went. And so I don't normally use this for personal reasons. I don't really use Facebook for personal reasons so much as I do for business reasons. And so when I go there, I want to be engaged with people that I want to stay in front of. People that I actually genuinely care about what's going on in their world. So I do want to stay engaged with people. And so that's why I'm like, okay, okay, stuff happens, right? Stuff happens. I totally get it. And so, but the timing on this is what really grabs my attention, right? Because of the whistleblower. You guys probably heard Frances Haugen sharing so much of what's going on behind. She was a former employee. And she worked there from the last year being 2019. And so she raised a lot of alarms about several of the company's business practices, the way they run their business. And so she literally, when she left this position, she took a lot of information, documented information. I don't know if that's legal, right? But she literally wanted to have something in front of Congress. And so guess what? She was invited to come speak in front of Congress. And so on Sunday, she did an interview or something like that, and she came out with who she was. They didn't know who they were. So this was like Sunday, then all of a sudden Monday, they're down. She comes out Sunday, Monday, they're down. You see what I mean there? Like that alone is interesting by itself. The timing on it. And so she leaked a whole bunch of internal documents to the Wall Street Journal. Okay? And she told the Senate, she told the Wall Street Journal, she told the subcommittee. She said, these are her words. She said, put their astronomical profits, Facebook, before people. That Facebook put their astronomical profits before people. And anyone who's listening to me right now, you're not surprised. You're not surprised at all. Right? You know that Facebook is about themselves for the most part. They want to do what drives their business. And so, she's sharing this stuff with them. Here's something else she said. Quote, I'm quoting Haugen. We can have social media we enjoy that connects us without tearing our democracy apart or democracy putting our children in danger and sowing ethnic violence around the world. Okay, there's no doubt that Facebook is guilty of that. No doubt. And what she is saying here is that Facebook can be so much better about this if they didn't think about their bottom line. Okay? And something very interesting she hit on. And if you guys have been following my channel, you know I'm a racquetball coach to over 40 kids. Okay? And I can tell you what she shares about Facebook, I know to be true amongst kids who have lower self-esteem thanks to other peers. And I personally went through when I was a kid, right? I didn't have the better things. I was literally picked on. That stuff goes bad. But she is hitting it from a different point of view, okay? She's talking about young girls' mental health. And I love that she shares this because she believes this is a big problem caused by Facebook. And she says this just like this. The choices being made inside of Facebook are disastrous for our children or our public safety, for privacy, and for our democracy. And that is why we must demand Facebook changes. Let's be real. Kids can be bullies. Adults can be bullies. Okay? And then you have some that don't respond well to bullies. Maybe they hate life because of the way they were treated by bullies. You never know. I'm not a psychologist, and I'm not trying to speak for victims. I have my own ways that I was victimized as a child through life. But I can tell you, other influence can definitely affect you in your mind and the way you think and the way you see things. Okay? And here's the thing. Facebook hasn't denied any of this yet. They haven't said anything on what the Wall Street Journal reported, right? They do say that, they're kind of being mischaracterized a little misleading on the characterization around them. But that's really all that they said, right? So this is key. And so she's sharing a bunch of things. Why wouldn't Facebook try to have a big outage and get rid of a lot of data that she's referring to in all these documents? Right? I don't know. I'm working on trying to say the word right so much. But, Haugen worked for them for many years, so she knows a little more of the insides of this workings, right? And so we'll see what she says, but she's quoted again saying, so this is definitely a thing that is happening, and I believe Facebook's consistent understaffing of the counter-espionage information operations and counter-terrorism teams is a national security issue, and I'm speaking to other parts of Congress. Now, just so you know, there are some people who just believe, especially people who work there, that she's just a disgruntled ex-employee. And if this outage didn't occur, I probably wouldn't even be talking about it, to be completely honest with you. There's no bearing on this. But I feel like my personal opinion, and that's all it is an opinion. I'm giving my take on what has occurred. I think there is some relevancy around what she was sharing and this big 6-hour power outage where all of that was, are they all on one server? I don't know. Right? And so she believed the Congress needed to know more about this. And so she spoke up. Good for her for speaking up. And we'll see where it goes. But I'm going to tell you, I definitely feel like they have way too much power. A lot of these social media platforms have so much power. If you follow the Gabby Petito case, that big sensational story with the van life couple going across country and the girlfriend is dead now and the fiance is on the run or hiding or missing or whatever. Social media brought a lot of that to life. These platforms have so much. Social media even helps solve a little of what has been found so far. The power of social media is real. That's why I say you should use it for your business. But you should protect your mental health as well. If you go to Facebook and you're getting riled up and you're getting upset and you're thinking about a lot of stuff after you've gotten off of Facebook, you might want to rethink how much time you're spending on there because it may be affecting you emotionally. My wife literally stopped using Facebook because it wasn't good for her thought process with all that stuff that's out there. And, and she could be a little sensitive and maybe someone hurt her feelings and she's like, Facebook is just a bad memory. And so, Twitter's huge too. What happened when Facebook went down? People flooded Twitter with this Facebook Instagram outage. Literally, people were flocking to Twitter. Get it? Flock, Twitter, tweet, the bird. So, it was to the point where the company was forced to issue an apology for technical issues. It said due to the flood of traffic. That's Twitter having to apologize because they had so much going on. Right? So, I mean, what is Twitter known for? It's the place you go to get your information right now. What's going on right now in short form messages? And so Facebook says faulty configuration change, right? And so the company added as well that no evidence that user data was compromised as a result of this downtime. Does that really matter? Does that really matter? Facebook is not protecting you while you're on it. They try to show you they are, but they are collecting so much data so they can do ads back to you. So they can understand your behavior. So they can understand what you want to see to show you stuff that they believe you will be interested in. So what does that mean? They have to collect data. Now, you believe they're being safe in the Facebook walls? No. I mean, literally, Mark Zuckerberg keeps getting thrown in a hot seat because of his response to a lot of this stuff. Right? So, I mean, he's constantly, and after this debacle, and the whistleblower, the shares dropped so much. The value in the company dropped. He literally lost $6 billion. $6 billion according to Bloomberg Wealth. $6 billion. And that even dropped him to number 5 in the richest all-time people, or the current richest people, with what, Elon Musk being number 1, Jeff Bezos number 2. Right? So he definitely took a hit, but he's probably not feeling that money, is he? Is he? He probably isn't. And so, Twitter was poking fun at them. Twitter themselves was poking fun at Facebook. Why wouldn't you, right? So, at the end of the day, this stuff's going to happen. It literally... Facebook's going to have some other dramatic thing that we need to talk about or follow. And so, honestly, okay, so what happens now? What happens now? You say that there was a faulty configuration, whatever, in there. And so, there probably aren't much effects outside of you didn't have Facebook. You got away from Facebook for 6 hours. What else? What else do you think was positive? Well, once you realize, okay, they're down, let me stop checking Facebook so much, right? That was me. Let me, what's going on here? Is my internet down? Everything else seems to be working. And so then I just broke away until all of a sudden I saw there was a Facebook Messenger post, Facebook Messenger message. And then I'm like, oh, they must be coming back up. And so slowly it started coming back up. But when you think about these two, okay, the whistleblower is going to hopefully bring some stuff into eyeballs where people are actually going to say something, to care. To me, Facebook is a lot of drama in many ways. And if you stay away from it, great. You know how to protect your mind a little more. But if you get into it, now granted, I'm a big Mets fan, and Mets fans can be so passionate, they start complaining all the time, and that's probably the one place that I see where it's like, dude, can you guys stop complaining so much? And so I have to also be conscious of, let me try to stay out of that group. Now that the season is officially over and the Mets are done, I can go and see what they're talking about again, right? But that's me protecting my mind. You have to protect your mind, because if you're in business, you have to have the right mindset for business. If something is not going right, you have to have the mindset that it's not the end of the world. It should not ruin your day. It should not even really stop your day. It might stop a small portion of your day to realize something's not right. Let me change things up a little bit. In my case, I said, I'm going to do my live over there, and I'm not going to worry about the Facebook anymore. It was a done deal. But again, that was probably 20 minutes later of hoping it was going to be a quick outage. But then I gave up. I'm like, okay, that's way too long. So when you're thinking about it, I personally believe the whistleblower had something to do with this 6-hour outage. That's my take on it. From a business standpoint, hopefully you see what that 6 hours was like. Were you thinking about Facebook a lot? Were you thinking about Instagram a lot? Were you thinking about these platforms like when are they going to be on? When are they going to be on? When are they going to be on? Unless it has everything to do with your business, why are you spending so much time thinking about it? And if you got that much where you're relying on Facebook, you got to rethink about other methods. And one of those methods should definitely be email marketing. Because email marketing, that's your asset. That's basically the number one asset you will never lose, as long as you keep it up and keep it going and keep it growing. Get it? Going and growing. So think about that there by itself. Okay. So everything's back up. You can believe what you want to believe out of the, Facebook's mouth and all that stuff that's going on out there. But what's your take on it? What's your take on it? Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think that that's just a coincidence? Or do you think there is actually something to it? Okay? I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you so much for joining me today. And hey, if you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button. That lets YouTube know, hey, when they go live or upload content, share it with the audience. And then that way you get notified. And click on that like button if you got some value out of this, because that's also going to tell YouTube, hey, show it to more people. Show it to more people. And that's what we want. Get the word out there. Let them get a little more positive energy in how they approach their business. I'm Coach Manny Rodriguez. I look forward to serving you again. Have an amazing day. Peace.